Everybody, welcome back to Breakfast with Bob from CLASH Daytona. My name is Bob Babbitt. We're brought to you by the NASCAR Foundation, Daytona International Speedway, USA Triathlon, and Aquasphere in Varlo. Grace Alexander is our next guest. How you doing, Grace?
Good. How are you doing, Bob?
I am spectacular, and you came off of winning 70.3 Augusta.
Yes.
That's a pretty big win.
Yes, thank you. It was my first win, first podium, so very...
First win and first podium.
Yep, skipped third and second and just went for the top
Boom,
spot.
boom, boom.
Yes.
Why screw around?
Exactly.
So you start out in IronKids?
Yes, about 13 or 12, around that age. I just
Yeah.
hopped in one or two. It's a pool swim, short little bike, little
Yes.
run, and it was a lot of fun.
Those things were the best. I did the commentating for national championship for that back then, and the kids just, it was funny because you had people with tassels on their bikes, right? And then you had people with a drop frame. You know?
I was on a mountain bike.
You were on a mountain
And
bike.
then the next year I was on a road bike, and I was like, why didn't anyone tell me this? This is
Yeah,
so much easier.
What the heck? And from there, did you just stay in the sport?
Not really. Well, I would do about one triathlon maybe every year, every other year,
Yeah.
but I was mostly a swimmer or a runner.
Right.
And that was my focus, and would just hop in a race if it was convenient
Yeah.
and fun.
And when did you get to the point where you felt like, okay, I think I want to go, I think I want to be better. I think I want to become a pro.
2017 was my first real year of training as an age grouper. I qualified for my pro card in 2018, but I didn't feel ready to take that leap yet. So I developed a little bit more as an athlete, and then took it after I won an Ironman race in 2020, overall men and women.
Whoa, wait, which one was that?
Gulf Coast 70.3.
Okay.
And after that, I was kind of like not much else to do, so went pro in 2021.
So when you go pro, now it's funny because a lot of times age groupers will compare their times and go, "Oh, I could be a pro. I can do. My time is close to that guy's or that woman's." So when you're doing your first race as a pro, how different was it?
My first race was Des Moines,
Yep.
70.3, and the bike was cut short, but it was quite an experience. There's a lot more tactical cues to take as a pro, and it is a different race, but I think it's still comparable. And when I was jumping to being from amateur to pro, I was doing the comparing, and I think it was comparable, but there's definitely more tactical things that you got to look for as a pro.
And they go hard right from the beginning.
Yes,
Yeah,
it's full gas.
Yeah, it's full gas from the start, which is a different gig, right?
Yeah.
Because a lot of times, as an age grouper, you're sort of doing your own thing. Well, now you're looking at everybody around you.
Yeah, especially if you're a top age grouper.
Yes.
You're feeling good. You have those endorphins going because you're in the lead, and then when you're jumping into the pro field and you're more mid backpack, it's more of a mental game now.
Exactly. So in 2021, 7th at Des Moines, 20th at 7th. When you get 20th at the Worlds, that's the real deal.
Yeah.
Right? That's when you know, okay, I do belong here. Did you come away with that, feeling that?
Yeah, I think so. The first Worlds back after COVID, I think, made it a little different because I know some people were struggling to get there. And of course, you're always your toughest critic. And I told myself that it's still not good enough, but my numbers and everything were good, so I was happy with it.
And then this year, 8th at Chattanooga and 5th at Eagleman, 20th at U.S. Open. As we mentioned, when you get 20th at the U.S. Open, that's still $5,000, which is like winning a lot of other races.
Yes.
So, and that is a championship event. When you go to U.S. Open or Canadian Open, the fields are stacked. Was that the deepest field you'd been in?
I believe so, yes. That was definitely the most competition on the top end of the field. So it was fun to line up with those women and really see where I can improve on. But yeah, taking 20th there was very exciting for me.
Yeah, absolutely. And then obviously the win at Augusta in 25th. So the season, you're a critic of yourself, but the season was a very good season.
Yes, so far so good.
So far so good. And have you been able to ride on this course yet?
I did yesterday. It was quite an experience to have kind of the whole thing. I came out first thing in the morning, and so I had the track to myself.
Is that the coolest thing in the whole world?
It was incredible.
You're in the capital of NASCAR racing, and you are owning the track.
Yep. Yeah. Got some pretty awesome pictures, so
that is very cool. That is so cool. And what does your family think of you becoming a pro triathlete?
It was unexpected, I think.
Yeah.
But I do come from a background of running and swimming. My dad ran in college. I have 3 older brothers who were very active,
Yes.
so I just followed suit, and I'm the most active out of them now. But
Okay.
I think they're proud, and I love just sharing it with them.
Yeah, and so for moving forward for 2023, have you already started to think about what you want to do?
Yeah, a little bit. I think I have the first half of my season planned out-ish, so just got to figure out
Depending
travel.
on where the PTO events are going to be,
Yes,
and yes,
hoping to qualify for those. And
Yes.
yeah.
Now, what do you have to do to qualify for the? What's the ranking situation in terms of you having to qualify?
I believe they have 40 women, I want to
Okay.
say, on the start, and 40 men.
Yes.
So if you're within the top 40 of the PTO
You're automatic.
ranking, yes, and then you can get roll down slots as they go, which is how I got invited to the U.S. Open.
Wait, and the hard part is that you sort of find out last minute, right?
Yes, 2 weeks before is when I found out, and I had already had plans to race Augusta, so I was really scrambling to see if it made sense to do and get there, but I figured it was,
Well, it was
I didn't
worth
want to
it.
pass it up.
What was the time difference between Augusta and U.S. Open?
A week.
A week.
Yes.
So you did U.S. Open before Augusta? Or?
Yes.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
And then came back and won Augusta. Mm-hmm. So it's interesting because I've seen guys, a lot of athletes who would leave big gaps between events, and then all of a sudden they would back up. They would do a race a week apart, and they go, "Oh my God, I was better the second week because I just sort of recovered. I didn't do much training during in between. I just recovered and had a great race."
Yep. And that's something I've noticed because I've done that, I think, 3 times now, and it seems the second race is always the best. So
Is that interesting?
Trying to figure out if that's something I should consider into my taper.
Right, absolutely. Do I look at it as do I train that weekend, or do I just jump into a race because it keeps you race sharp, and somehow my body does better the second time because it's more accustomed to racing?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, I know. Ben Hoffman, Sam Long, Joe Skipper. A lot of those guys have left Kona after having been 6th or 8th in Kona and gone to Florida.
Yep.
And had great races and going, well, maybe that is better for me. So it's learning your body and figuring out what works best for you.
Yeah, everyone's different, and I have no experience with fulls. I can only imagine that being.
Is that a goal?
No.
You know what? It's really a great era to be a middle distance athlete because between Challenge and Clash and PTO and Ironman 70.3 and independent races, you've got plenty of opportunity without even thinking about doing something that's 9 hours.
Yep, that's my thoughts exactly.
Oh, good. You're a smart woman. That's great. And when you look at which one of these events you figure is your best so far? Your best race?
Probably 70.3 Augusta. I have, I think my run at Augusta was my best. My bike at Eagleman was my best. And my swim at Worlds was my best. So if I could just put all those 3 together tomorrow, I think it would be great.
How was Worlds for you with the cold?
Oh, I did not dress appropriately for that.
I think you're not alone.
Yeah. The day before I went out and tested it, and I felt great. So I was like, all right, let's do it. And then my teeth were chattering on the bike. Everyone.
What
was
did you put
struggling.
on? Did you put anything?
Gloves, and then I had a produce bag that I got from the grocery store lining the front of my kit.
Yeah. Didn't do it.
No.
You needed like a vest or something.
Yeah, and it was a biodegradable produce bag, so it ended up kind of disintegrating. And
Note to self: don't get biodegradable.
I tried to be green, but
you were green and frozen at the same time. That is funny. But going to that, getting through that bike ride when you're you're down here, you're down in Atlanta. Now you're dealing with cold. That's a different gig.
Yeah, I'm not used to that.
It's hard to race in sometimes.
Yeah. You can dress for it when you're training, but you never practice going from a swim to a bike with wet hair and your race gear. So I have that experience now, and if it happens again, I know to be a little smarter about it.
Well, and the deal is you're going from 60-degree water to 40-degree air. You're losing 20 degrees, and it's just biting. It just comes right through you.
The wind on the bike, and then the shade because the sun wasn't up yet. I was begging for hills.
Yes.
And the sun just to warm up.
Yeah, we've all done that when you're out training and you're like, oh my God, it's so cold. Please let me climb. And whoever thinks that, nobody thinks I want to be climbing right now.
I've never wanted to climb so much in my life. I was like, where is Snow Canyon?
But you got through it and ended up 25th against, phenomenal field at a world championships. So you had to come away feeling, okay, I overcame a lot. I learned a lot.
Yeah, that was my exact
Especially
thoughts.
produce bags. Yeah, you learned a lot, and you'll be better next time.
Exactly.
And you're still so young at this sport. You're only 30 years old. You can do this for a long time.
Hoping to. There's definitely some inspirational women that are doing it. So
I was
can
just
look up
talking to Jackie Herring.
Yes, she's one of them.
She's one of them. She was did a lot of Ironman racing, and now usually it's hard to go from Ironman to shorter, and she's handled it brilliantly. Right?
Yeah.
She just keeps getting faster. She just ran a 1:14 half marathon, fastest half marathon she's ever run.
That's incredible.
Yeah, I know, right?
With kids and
exactly.
all that,
yeah,
inspiring.
so you do have good role models.
Exactly. That's why I love the sport.
It is the best sport, isn't it?
We might be biased, but
yeah, just a little bit. But no, what makes the sport so special is like this weekend. Think about the festival that's going to be out here. You're going to have you guys racing tomorrow, and then a sprint race. The 7:15 edition sold out, so now they added a 9:15.
Oh, that's awesome.
Isn't that cool? And it's really one of the few places you could do that because the roads are totally blocked off. And then you've got the longer distance race on Sunday. And you got all different athletes, but they all share a love of triathlon.
Yeah, and hopefully I'm hoping to stay till Sunday to watch some of it.
Watch everything. Very cool. So nice to get to meet you, and hopefully we'll get to chat more.
Thank you. I'm excited for the weekend.
It's going to be great. Have a great race out there.
Thank you.
Grace Alexander has been our guest, everybody. Again, Breakfast with Bob from CLASH Daytona. Hold on. We will be right back.